His name was Thatcher Reeve, and he kissed her like it was the right thing to do, slow, tender, even reverent. She wore red lipstick and a pearl choker, the kind of girl made for country club ballads and monogrammed invitations. She giggled when he dipped her low at the bar. Everyone clapped. Everyone believed. Except me. I stood in the corner nursing my scotch, camera gear slung over my shoulder like it wasn't pulling me apart from the inside out. He didn't look at me, not even once. But his fingers flexed when I passed too close. His jaw tensed every time I laughed. His eyes burned into the ice cubes in his drink like they held secrets. He took her home at 11:37 p.m. He called me at 12:04. Before I take you deeper into this flame, please do yourself one favor. Like this story. Comment where you're watching from. Subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. Share this with someone who's ever felt like the one in the shadows. Don't let this ache live in silence. If you feel something, show something. You'll regret scrolling away without leaving a mark. The phone rang once. Then twice. Then I answered. Hey. Silence. Then. I shouldn't have done that, he said. His voice was breathy. Low. Wrecked. She looked happy, I said flat. She isn't you. He didn't need to say more. I was already pulling on jeans, grabbing my keys. He lived 20 minutes away, in a rented brick townhome with blackout curtains and nothing in the fridge but tonic water and mustard. When I got there, she was gone. Her perfume lingered. But so did he, shirt unbuttoned, hair mussed, barefoot on the tile floor. You kissed her, I said. You haunt me. Then he kissed me. He pressed me into the entry wall like he was trying to merge us into one person. His hands slid beneath my t-shirt, calloused fingers ghosting over my skin. I let him touch me, take me, as if he owned every inch. And maybe he did. We didn't speak. I stripped him with practiced urgency, pulling buttons and zippers apart like pages in a story we'd sworn not to finish. His mouth was hot and bruising, his hips already grinding against mine. Tell me to stop, he whispered into my neck. I've told you before, I said breathless. You never listen. He dropped to his knees and opened me with his tongue. Slow, confident, devastating. He tasted me like he remembered everything. And when I came, gripping the back of his head, cursing his name, he just smiled. You always sound better than she does, he said. Then he stood, took my hand, and led me to the bedroom. The sheets were cold. His skin was not. Thatcher pulled the sheet over our bodies like it could protect us from the truth. But it couldn't. We both knew that. I lay on my back, eyes fixed on the ceiling fan above, while he curled on his side, elbow pressed to the pillow, face half in shadow. She wants to get married, he said quietly. I didn't flinch. Then marry her. His fingers found my chest. You're cruel. I'm honest. You should try it. He didn't answer. But he didn't let go either. I could feel his heartbeat under his wrist. Too fast. Like mine. She checks all the boxes, he said. She's kind. Loyal. Beautiful. My mother loves her. But you call me when your hands won't stop shaking. He closed his eyes. You weren't supposed to matter. That's your problem, I said. You thought I was a distraction. But you don't curl your toes in your sleep because of distractions. I turned to him then, face to face in the dark. What do you want, Thatcher? His voice cracked like dry wood. I want you to stay. So I can be the secret. So you can be the real thing. When the world isn't looking. I paused. Then I said what I shouldn't have. What I promised myself I wouldn't. I already am. He kissed me then, soft, aching, desperate. Nothing like the show he put on with her. This wasn't a kiss for the world. It was a kiss for survival. And he pressed himself against me, naked, warm, already hard again. He whispered my name like he'd forgotten every other. I rolled him onto his back. No pretending this time, I said. You want me? Show me. I kissed down his chest, slow, deliberate. Let him feel every second. His hands tangled in my hair, his hips arching up to meet my mouth. He was gorgeous. Flushed skin, parted lips, chest rising in ragged waves. I licked a trail down his abdomen, then circled the head of his cock with my tongue. He moaned, broken, vulnerable, like it hurt to hold back. I took him in slowly, inch by inch, until his back arched and his thighs tensed. His toes curled under the sheets. His hands fisted the pillow. I can't, he gasped. You can, I said, pulling off just long enough to whisper against him. You want to? And then I swallowed him whole again. Deeper. Slower. He cried out. He didn't last. Couldn't. When he came, it was like his body shattered. He gripped the sheets like they were the only thing keeping him from falling through the bed. His thighs trembled. He said my name again. And again. And again. I climbed back up and kissed him, let him taste himself on my tongue. He kissed back like he was drowning. After, we lay in the quiet, bare skin against bare skin. He traced my spine with the tips of his fingers. You should hate me, he said. I do. Do you? No, I whispered. I hate that I love you. He blinked. You've never said that before. Because I wasn't supposed to. He cupped my cheek. Say it again. I love you. And just like that, the man who kissed her in front of 100 people buried his face in my chest and cried like a boy. Morning found us tangled like vines, breath soft against skin, the sheets wrapped around our legs like the aftermath of a storm. I watched him sleep, one arm draped across my waist, his lashes brushing the hollow of my collarbone. He looked peaceful in a way I never got to see, like the boy he used to be before the world told him who he had to love. The sunlight crept through the blinds and painted golden lines across his bare back. I should have slipped out, pretended none of this happened. Again. But I didn't. I let my fingers trail his spine. I memorized the weight of his body draped against mine. I whispered, this could be real. Not loud. Just to myself. Just loud enough to hurt. When he woke, it was abrupt, as if guilt had an internal alarm. He sat up, ran a hand through his hair. Didn't look at me. She texted, he said, checking his phone. She wants to have brunch. I stood. Then go eat toast with your lie. That's not fair. I turned on him, naked and furious. What do you call this? You say my name with your cock inside me, and then run back to her like I'm a dirty little edit you can cut from the final reel. His face twisted. You know I love you. Do I? I stepped closer. Because I can't remember the last time you said it, and meant it with your clothes on. He opened his mouth. I raised my hand. Don't. He nodded. Quiet. Then said the one thing that hurt more than silence. I'll call you tonight. And just like that, we returned to routine. Pretend. Repeat. Regret. That night, I didn't hear from him. Not by 10. Not by midnight. Not by the time my own reflection in the mirror started to look like someone I didn't recognize. Someone waiting to be wanted. I checked his socials. A tagged photo surfaced. Her hand on his chest. His smile careful. I dropped my phone and nearly shattered it. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I packed. I folded the shirt he loved on me. I deleted his name from my favorites. I left the house and drove to the one place he never dared take her. A low-lit piano bar 2 towns over that played old jazz and didn't ask questions about who you held hands with in the booth. And I let someone else buy me a drink. It was nearly 2 a.m. when I heard the door to the bar swing open behind me. I didn't need to turn. I knew it was him. The silence that followed was loud. All music and clinking glasses dimmed under the tension of his breath. I finally glanced over my shoulder. He looked like hell. Eyes red. Tie loosened. His shirt still smelled like her perfume. I messed up, he said. But I couldn't stay away. I sipped my drink. You didn't call. I couldn't. She asked me to propose in front of her parents. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't even hold the ring. I walked out in the middle of the dinner. And came here. I didn't know where else to go. I looked him dead in the eye. You only show up when your lies start choking you. He stepped forward. I only lie when I'm too afraid to lose what's real. That stopped me. What are you saying? He reached into his coat pocket. Not a ring. A hotel key. I want one night with nothing in the way, he said. No guilt. No shadows. Just you and me, the way it should have been. Room 614 was quiet except for the distant hum of city lights and the soft click of the door closing behind us. The air was thick, electric. Thatcher stood still for a second, like if he moved too fast, the illusion would break. Like I'd vanish. But I didn't. I leaned against the edge of the dresser, crossing my arms, staring at him. One night, his voice was barely audible. If I can only be brave in the dark, then let this night be my rebellion. I nodded once. Then take off your armor. He did. First the coat, then the tie. Then his shoes, his shirt, his belt. Each item fell to the floor like a vow being broken. By the time he was in nothing but his briefs, I walked over and placed my palm against his chest. His heart, beating like a drumline. For me. "You're shaking," I said. "I'm terrified," he breathed. I kissed his collarbone. "Of what?" He looked down at me. "Of what I'd do if I lost this. If I lost you." And then, for the first time, he kissed me like it wasn't borrowed. Like it wasn't borrowed time or a shameful thing tucked behind locked doors. He kissed me like it belonged in the sun. I walked him backward to the bed. We undressed each other slowly. No rush. No frantic stripping like we were racing against regret. Just touch. Just skin. Just us. His hands roamed my body like he was learning it for the first time, but remembering every curve like he dreamed about it nightly. I climbed on top of him, our bodies aligned, chest to chest. "Let me look at you," I whispered. He nodded, eyes wide, full of light and grief and longing. I rolled my hips against him, feeling him swell against me. I kissed down his chest, tasting sweat and want. When I finally took him in my mouth, he gasped and clutched the sheets. His thighs flexed. His toes curled. "Oh God," he whispered. "No," I said, pulling back to look up at him. "Just me. Tonight, it's just me." He moaned, louder now, the kind of sound you don't make when you're hiding. The kind of sound you make when you're home. I slicked my fingers and prepped him slowly, carefully, watching his face the whole time. "You okay?" I asked. "Better than I've ever been." When I entered him, he bit his lip, but not from pain. From the pressure of holding back every word he'd wanted to say for months. I moved slowly, letting him feel every inch of me. We didn't speak. Our mouths were too busy learning, remembering, worshipping. I thrust deeper, hips finding rhythm, and his eyes rolled back as he whispered my name like a prayer. And when he came between us, trembling, breath caught in his throat, I followed, my body collapsing against his, both of us coated in sweat and truth. I didn't pull away. I stayed inside him, forehead to forehead, breath sinking. He was crying, quietly, but not from guilt this time. "Tell me," I whispered. "I choose you." He didn't leave at sunrise. He didn't sneak out with guilt in his back pocket. He stayed. We ordered coffee. He made jokes. He kissed me in the daylight. At 10:04 a.m., his phone rang. Her name lit up the screen. He looked at me, then turned it off. I raised an eyebrow. He exhaled. "I'll talk to her. Today. For real." I said nothing, just nodded, because promises mean nothing until they're kept. But in his eyes, something had changed. This wasn't just a secret anymore. 2 weeks passed. I didn't hear from him. Not for days. Then, one afternoon, I walked into my apartment to find a box on the kitchen table. No note. Just a key inside. And a time, 6 p.m. I showed up. He was there. Standing barefoot in the doorway of a new apartment, bare walls and a mattress on the floor. He smiled like a man who had finally burned down the lie. "I ended it," he said. I told the truth. I stepped inside. He locked the door behind me. And then he knelt. No ring. Just words. "You're the home I've been running from. I'm done running." That night, we made love like we had nowhere else to be. Slow. Raw. Free. He kissed me in the mirror. No shame. He wrapped his arms around me after, and for the first time, sleep didn't taste like a countdown. It tasted like beginning. And then he knelt. No ring. Just words. "You're the home I've been running from. I'm done running." That night, we made love like we had nowhere else to be. Slow. Raw. Free. He kissed me in the mirror. No shame. He wrapped his arms around me after, and for the first time, sleep didn't taste like a countdown. It tasted like beginning. I woke to sunlight streaming through curtains we'd forgotten to close, painting golden stripes across his chest. His breathing was steady, deep, the kind of sleep that comes after laying down armor you've carried too long. I traced the outline of his shoulder blade with my fingertip, marveling at how different morning felt when you weren't counting down the hours until goodbye. "Coffee?" he murmured without opening his eyes, voice rough with sleep. "In a minute," I whispered back, because this suspended moment between dreams and day felt too precious to break. He rolled over, eyes still heavy with sleep, but searching my face like he was memorizing it. Did I dream that whole thing last night? The kneeling? The declarations? The part where you said you were done running. A slow smile spread across his lips. That part. Real as morning, I said, and kissed his forehead. Real as coffee breath and bedhead. He laughed, the sound bubbling up from somewhere deep in his chest. Romantic. But we both knew the real romance was in the ordinary. In the way he padded to the kitchen in boxers and my oversized sweater, in how he knew I took my coffee black but added cream to his own, in the comfortable silence that settled between us like a cat finding its favorite spot. Later, as we sat on the fire escape sharing toast and watching the city wake up, he said, I called my sister last night. After you fell asleep. I looked at him, surprised. He'd mentioned her before, brief, careful references to family that felt like stepping around glass. Told her about you. About us. He took a sip of coffee, steam curling around his face. She wants to meet you. And you want that. I want everything now, he said simply. The messy parts, the complicated parts. I want to fight about whose turn it is to do dishes, and I want to hold your hand at family dinners, and I want to wake up annoyed at your alarm clock. I laughed. My alarm clock. It's aggressive. Very judgmental beeping. You love my alarm clock. I love you, he said, and it was the first time he'd said it in daylight, the first time without the cover of darkness or breathless urgency. Just sitting there in morning light, toast crumbs on his chin, saying it like weather report. Like fact. I love you too, I said, and meant it in all the ways I'd been too scared to mean it before. That afternoon, we walked through the farmer's market like we belonged there. Like we were the kind of couple who bought fresh flowers on Saturday and argued good-naturedly about which apples were best for pie. He stopped at a stall selling succulents, picking up a small jade plant. For the apartment, he said, then caught himself. I mean for your apartment, if you want. Or my apartment. Or. He trailed off, color rising in his cheeks. Our apartment, I said, testing the words. They felt right, like finding the perfect key for a lock you'd been struggling with. Our apartment, he repeated, grinning. I like the sound of that. We bought the plant and groceries for dinner, and a bottle of wine that was probably too expensive, but felt like celebration. That evening, as we cooked together, him chopping vegetables with careful precision while I managed the stove, I caught him humming under his breath. Happy song? I asked. Just happy, he said, and kissed my cheek as he reached around me for the salt. That night, we made love differently than before. Not desperate or urgent, but like we had time, all the time in the world. Afterward, as we lay tangled in sheets that smelled like us, like home, he traced patterns on my chest with his fingertip. What are you writing? I asked. The future, he said. All of it. Every boring Tuesday, and every exciting Friday, and every Sunday morning when we're too lazy to get out of bed. That's a lot of writing. I've got time, he said, and kissed the spot where my heartbeat was strongest. We've got time. And for the first time in my life, I believed him. Time wasn't running out, it was just beginning.